And welcome into this abbreviated short service. Your host, Alvin, and Happy New Year for everyone watching, as this year is all about finalizing our series that we've been doing for a while and making room for bigger changes getting into the future. As we hope that, yes, this will be the best year to come for you and your loved ones. So, Happy New Year. This is a season of revival for America, and we're hoping this year not only opens more doors in your life, but more blessings for you and everyone around you. So share the good news with everyone else. Of course, it's just you and me since this is an abbreviated service, but we're going to get started by saying our Father's Prayer. Our Father who worked in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as this is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And so, the last part of our series for 2026, the end times/second coming of Christ, that we've been talking about for a while, but we're going to spend these last next few months and really the rest of this year finalizing this series and transforming this channel into something great that you'll be so happy to see. It's going to make more sense, and it's just going to take us into the future in a much better way, while all of our other cousins and pastors that you've seen on this channel work to fulfill their career paths and what they actually want to do in life. And so this is what we're going to be doing, talking more about Revelation, those last few chapters that we need to get to so that we can end this year on the best note possible. But let's first talk about what we're going to be learning about today, which is, of course, Revelation chapter 14. We have already covered Revelation chapter 12 and 13 that went over the woman, the child, and the dragon. And remember when we spoke about the beast from the sea back in December of 2025. And today we're going to talk more about them, but more in depth about the Lamb and the 144,000 and the proclamations of the three angels. And so this is very important. It is a very monumental portion of our series that is going to take us into what will make more sense later on when we talk about that official second coming of Christ and the judgment seat. And of course, what we really want to talk about before we even get any more deeper into this year is the bowls that are poured into this world. And so that is also what we're going to talk about too later on in the next few weeks and months to come. But for right now, let's focus on the present as I talk more about Revelation chapter 14. This is all we're talking about in this video, so it should only take a few moments of your time. So if you can, go ahead and turn over to Revelation chapter 14, verses 1 to 5, and we'll read this really quickly, and then we'll talk more about Revelation chapter 14, verse 6 to 13. So let's get started. Then I looked, and behold, a Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, like the voice of many waters, and like the sound of thunder. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps. And verse 3 says, they sung as it were a new song before the throne, before the four living creatures and the elders. And no one could learn that song except the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth. These are the ones that were not full of the woman, for they were virgins. And these are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among the men, being the firstfruits to God and to the Lamb, and in their mouths you did not find any sin. And for they were without fault before the throne of God. So that was the Lamb and the 14,000. Anyone in God's kingdom, you are going to find them pure and holy because there is no angel in heaven that is not pure nor holy except for Satan that was thrown from heaven. And so back in Revelation chapter 12, I told you we were going to talk more about it. Just do a small recap. Remember, Satan was a righteous person. He was doing what he was supposed to do. But when he fell, under what God had told him to do and went according to his own ways instead of God's will, there he was cast out from heaven. And when that happened, there was a lot of rejoicing in heaven because in heaven, the Lamb and the 14 or the 144,000 and the many more other angels in heaven is where you find rejoicing and praise. And you know, in Revelation chapter 20, we hear the rejoicing. It says, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come." And so let's finalize today's preaching short service with Revelation chapter 14, verse 6 to 13. And this is the proclamations of the three angels. And so I'll give you a few seconds to get there. And here we're going to talk more specifically, not just about the Lamb, but again, the three angels. So the titles specifically state or give you a short hint of what you're going to be reading. And so here's what it says in verse 6. Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of judgment has come, and worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea, and the springs of water. And another angel followed, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And verse 9 says, Then a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If anyone worships the beast in his image, and he or she will receive a mark on his forehead. You know what that mark is, but we're not going to talk about it so much in depth. We're just going to talk about those monumental parts. Verse 10 says, He himself shall also drink of the wine and the wrath of God, which is poured out full of strength into the cup, and he shall be tormented with fire and stone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke from their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night. Who worships that beast in his image, and whoever receives the mark in his name. I want to pause there before we read those last two verses. I hope we know what we're talking about here, the proclamations of the three angels, where we hear that the angels are in the moment of where in this time people are worshiping the beast. And in the end times, when you approach the second coming of Christ, we will see many people going in their own ways, worshiping the beast, worshiping Satan instead of the God that created him. And so this is the wrath of God, saying that they will be tormented with fire and stone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Those will be terrible times, but blessed are those that wait upon the Lord, and blessed are those that endure till the end, because those who endure till the end shall be saved. And so now the last two verses says in verse 12, Here is the patience of the saints. Here are those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. That is exactly what I was just talking about. Now we're referring to us Christians. And now it says in verse 13, Then I heard a voice from heaven saying, Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. And yes, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works will follow them. That those that die in the Lord, man, they are going to rest. They are going to be taken to a place that no human being on this earth can come back and tell us unless they have what's called a near-death experience, where you're taken to that side, and anyone taken to that side never wants to come back. And only people on earth would want to know why. Because we haven't been there. And so, blessed are those that are waiting upon the Lord. And in times of trouble, blessed are those that die in the Lord, because those that die in the Lord are blessed. They are called blessed because their works will follow them. And for generations to come, their legacy also will follow them. So, what an incredible message that we got from the Lord today, part of our End Time/Second Coming of Christ series that we are going to end before we finish this year as we transform this entire channel to something so great to preach the name of the Lord and get the word of Jesus out there for all of the humanity and everyone else to hear. And so, thank you for listening to my short preaching. And of course, coming up, the last part of our series will continue with short services and full video shorts. And I know we're going to continue to do these abbreviated services as much as we can. We are still pretty busy, pretty much all of us, including myself. And so we're not going to have these videos all the time. And so when we're not able to upload, we'll also try our best to upload full video shorts and, of course, Saturday recaps so that we're not just rushing through the last bits of this series without you understanding anything. We want you to have a great understanding of this, and at the end of the day, take the most important parts of Revelation, which, yes, at the end of the day, is the seven trumpets, which we have covered, but also coming up, which what we are going to be talking about pretty soon. It's the last big important part of our series before we finalize it, will be the seven bowls that are poured onto the earth. And so, not only the seven trumpets that you hear about, but the seven bowls. And if you want to read about that, you can before we even cover it, right before we conclude what was a very monumental part of our series. And so, thank you for listening to this very short service today. Hopefully, it made sense. Rewind it if necessary. You can clap from wherever you are. If you have any questions or comments, of course, you can leave them in the comments below. We are not just here to just deliver the word or deliver a message to you, but we want to hear what you have to say. Or if you have any questions, you want any clarification from us youth and young adults, we'll be happy to answer it for you. So make sure you leave them in the comments below, and we'll happily answer it to you as necessary. And so that is all our time that we have for today. Thank you for joining us for our first full abbreviated service of the year, with many to come as long as we are here and available. And so thank you for watching it all the way to the end. I told you it wouldn't last so long. Make sure you visit our website. The link is down in the description. It was just updated for January 2026, and we will see you the next time we upload, God willing, either in the form of a Saturday recap or a full video short. And as long as you're subscribed with notifications on, you don't have any stressing to do, because you will be able to receive that message from wherever you are. And even if we do take a few weeks off just for school reasons and stuff like that, once we upload, you'll be notified. And so if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed so that when we upload, you haven't missed tens or hundreds of videos, because we wouldn't want that for you. But until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for everything that you do, and we will see you in the next one.